This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by trainer Tony Sims here at Matchroom Boxing HQ. Tony, how are you?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back at a presser HQ Boxing as well. I don't know whether I've been in this garden since we boxed here on the COVID.
You only live around the corner, don't you, Tony?
Yeah, I know, but to believe it or not, I don't come in the offices much anymore. I don't get time. I'm normally working. For as long as they're working in the office, I'm normally working in here. Do you know what I mean?
Tony, obviously the reason we've all been pulled down here today is a new show has been announced for the Copper Box. A couple of your fighters will be on that card, Maisie, Rose, Courtney, alongside Mr. Sains. Just talk to me about both men, one woman and one man. To start off with Maisie Rose and another step up for her.
Yeah, like, it's a tough fight for Maisie. Obviously she's got the European title fight against Chloe Watson in September. So, this will be a good fight before that fight, but it is a tough fight. It's a 50-50 fight, and we see the problems that Jasmine caused Shannon Ryan, and it's gonna be a tough fight. But obviously, there's a title on the line as well, so it's gonna be a good fight for her.
How much of a risk element is that, though, with knowing the Chloe Watson fight is only around the corner? There's always that chance of the upset defeat, and then that kind of changes the plans.
Yeah, of course, and listen, boxing's a massive risk, you know that, Andy, anyway. Every fight you have, you could win or lose the fight, If she's going to go on to win the European title, then she's got to beat someone of Jasmine's ability, and this fight is probably going to tell us what she's about, and we know that Maisie's skillful. She even though she's not got no stoppages, she's hurt a lot of her opponents, in every fight. So, we'll just see what she's about, and if she comes through the Jasmine fight, then she'll be ready for Chloe Watson in September.
So obviously got Jimmy Sains as well, who's boxing on this card. I mean, he's also said he's boxing the week before. So again, the risk-reward factor. Is there any chance that maybe he pulls out of the one the week before, or?
Yeah, obviously, like we're just saying, everything's a risk that you do, and he's got a decent opponent, from France, and it's all a risk. But listen, Eddie wants him on the bill a week later. He sells loads of tickets, so I just want him to concentrate on the fight at the Brentwood Centre on June 29th, and then worry about the other fight afterwards.
Is that going to be easier said than done with somebody, especially at such an early stage of their career, knowing that there's a bigger fight already signed, already ready to go? Will it be a lot easier said than done with somebody like Jimmy?
I think he'll be okay. I mean, he's had an extensive amateur career. He boxed a lot of amateur fights for the Repton, and he, as we know, he won the Three Nations. He's boxed for England a few times, so he's quite experienced in himself. So I think, providing he comes out of the fight without any cuts on him, I think he'll be good to go.
Tony, take me back to Saudi Arabia. Your man Joe Cordina falling short against Cacace, stopped in that fight. Just your reflections on the entire event.
Yeah, it was a great event. You can't take anything away from the event. Turkey, Al Sheikh, he's done an amazing thing for boxing. And the event was phenomenal. Like Fury, Usyk was like a great experience to be there and be at that fight, unified heavyweight championship of the world. And obviously I had Joe Cordina on the undercard, and it didn't go right for Joe, and it's like I've been there a few times before. You get your fighter to the world title, and it's always hard to stay at the top. Like, it's his fourth world title fight on the spin, and it's always hard to stay there because every fighter that you fight against, they're hungry. They want that world title, and it just weren't Joe's night, and I feel his next move is to go up to 135. I feel like he's been struggling for quite a while, and it's pretty known that he's been struggling for quite a while to make that weight. So I think his next step will be to move up a weight.
That's going to be my next question, the weight front. You've said the next step will be to move up, but with the fight itself with Anza Cacace, how much do you feel like that impacted Joe's performance, trying to cut down to 130 again?
Yeah, I don't want to take nothing away from Cacace. You know, it was a performance of his lifetime. You know, he come out and he took the title with both hands. What you got to do to win a world title, but it was a massive impact on Joe, whatever way you look at it. And you know, he was in a situation where the fight was pretty hard to turn down financially, but maybe he should have moved up a weight, you know, maybe a year ago. But it is what it is, you know. He's had the fight, you know, financially he done well out of it, and he's just going to look to move up a weight now, go into the lightweight division and see what he can do there.
Looking at that lightweight division, then, how confident are you that he can pick up a world title, one of the main world titles that is in the division?
Well, you know, we'll have a decent opponent for his first fight back. We'll pick out a decent opponent, and we'll just see how he looks, really. You know, you can only go one step at a time, one fight at a time, and let him fight, debut at lightweight, see how he goes, and we'll go from there.
Just moving away from all things Joe, Mr. Conor Benn, what's the latest, Tony?
Just waiting now on a date for the hearing. It should be any time soon, and then he'll go into the full hearing, and we'll see what happens. The outcome of that is.
How's kind of the team and everybody feeling around everything to do with Conor now as we approach that full hearing? Whenever the date's set, what's the mood like amongst everybody?
Yeah, obviously it's you know, you get worried, and because we want it to turn out right for him, but well, I think we'll all be pleased when this full hearing's over. Whatever happens in the full hearing, I think we'll all be pleased when it's over and we know what we're doing and what date he'll be fighting again. I think that's what everyone's really looking forward to now, because once this full hearing's done, we'll know exactly where his next step will be.
Tony, just a word as well on a couple of the fights which have recently taken place. Joe was boxing on the Fury Usyk card. What did you make of that main event?
It's fantastic. You know, it's such a great fight. You know, watching it live as well, it was, you know, I had Fury well up in the fight. I was actually sitting next to a couple of friends of mine saying, after the 6th round, I was thinking it's only going to go another round or two. You're going to get Usyk out there, and obviously Usyk had a massive turnaround and come back into the fight. I feel like if it wasn't for the knockdown, I feel like Fury would have won the fight, and that's what's going to be so intriguing on the rematch, because you still really don't really know who's going to win that rematch.
From what you saw in the first fight, is there anyone who you favour more going into a rematch?
Everyone's going to favour Usyk now, obviously, because he got the decision. But as I said, without the knockdown, I feel like Fury would have won the fight. So, you know, we don't know. Obviously, tactically, maybe they'll both change a little bit tactically for the next fight, because they obviously know each other. So, you know, we'll just have to wait and see, really.
There's talk of somebody you know well, Anthony Joshua, potentially facing Daniel Dubois, who produced a fantastic display against Filip Hrgović this past weekend. What did you make of Dubois' win against Hrgović and a potential Joshua-Dubois fight at Wembley?
Oh, that's a phenomenal fight as well. I mean, the good thing about what Turkey's done is he's pitted all the heavyweights against each other, and we've kind of come out with a really good fighter in Daniel Dubois now. I mean, before him going into Saudi fights, we didn't know really what to expect, but he's had 2 great wins. He's had Gerald Miller, and now he's had this win, you know, and it was a phenomenal win. I mean, I think he was a big underdog in the fight. Everyone fancied Hrgović to win, but he come out on top, and, you know, he's going to be a phenomenal opponent for Anthony Joshua. I mean, that to me is a really even fight now, you know, and I think it's going to be a great fight.
What do you think the key would be for either men? And when you've watched the most recent performance, you say AJ against Ngannou and obviously Daniel the other night against Filip Hrgović, what do you think the keys for both men and how different of a fight it could be now compared to, say, a year or 2 ago?
Well, I just think, like, obviously, as you say now, Anthony Joshua's come back on 2 great wins. He's looked really good as well. And Dubois had 2 great wins. And, you know, Dubois was doing well against Usyk as well, you know, until he got caught. So I think you know, the fight's a really exciting fight. Two big men, two massive punchers. And it's one of them fights I feel that maybe it's who connects first in that fight, you know, can put either one away. But it's very exciting. And the most exciting thing about it is that it's going to be at Wembley and it's going to be against two British fighters. And that's really exciting.
All right, Tony, I don't want to keep you for too much longer, so I'm going to leave you now to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for speaking to me.
Cheers,
and I'll catch you
Andy.
soon.
Thank you, mate.